It's right there, Nathan. Could you just grab it right there, right on the floor, right there? I can't reach it from here. It's right there. Right on the floor, right there.
Okay, I'll try and catch it this time.
How about you just, be... Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Ooh, oh! Thank you, Nathan.
You're welcome.
I've missed you, retards. Welcome back to Night in News. Is that going to be the standard intro these days?
You really keem it up, don't you?
No, that's not... No, that wasn't keemed.
That was King.
No.
Every time I say, welcome back to Nightly News.
No.
He says, let's get right into the news.
Exactly. He's like, into the news. Like,
you're getting there close.
No, mine is like the stale, and you're like, welcome back to Night in News.
That's too stale, though. It's like, no one likes stale.
Nah, probably.
You like stale.
Have you ever had that experience where you're not feeling like yourself?
No. I've always been myself.
Well, I have recently, but now for some reason I'm just feeling more like myself. I don't know why.
Huh.
It's good.
Yeah, just... Well, yes, news, where we don't give you the news, we react to the news and do not consider us authoritative sources, so much so that we inject purposefully incorrect news articles into what we're talking about, so you can't trust us.
Yeah, if you love your family and you hold your children tight and want them to live and thrive, do not ever consider us to be news or an authoritative source.
Exactly.
It's a foolish game, and it's one you will not win. But thanks for watching. We really appreciate you being here.
Apple teas.
We're back in a new year.
We are.
In a new studio. No, we're not in a new studio, are we?
But we are back.
We are back.
We took some time off. I'm feeling energized,
Yeah.
rejuvenated.
Yeah.
You're feeling...
I'm feeling... Let's not talk about how I'm feeling, okay?
I just have some local news to share.
Oh, okay, fine.
I thought you said you wanted.
Yeah, well, I thought, okay, we're going to do it straight off the bat, just so everyone knows. If I seem like I'm a bit off, what?
Like not yourself?
Yeah, kind of like Shad, but,
What are you talking?
keeping my dignity.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what I'm talking about. So I went back on my medication. It was a long and expensive process, but so is getting, street meth, so... It's a lot safer my way too. Yeah, I got back on my ADHD medication, dexamphetamines.
How many people are going to respond like, why am I not surprised to hear you've got ADHD?
And it's the combined type, because there's many different types. You know what combined type means?
What?
You got all of them, baby. It means you're the worst of all worlds.
You've got ADD, ADHD.
Well, so it's basically you're lazy, tired easily, you can't focus on things very well, and
hyperactive at times.
What was that?
ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Yes, and hyperactive. There's a bunch of different ones. It's a qualitative disorder. No, quantitative disorder, not a qualitative one.
And look, it's funny, there's a discussion about, ADD being over-medicated and stuff like that. And I agree that, there are some people you think, do they have ADD? And you might, be a bit skeptical on if it even exists until you actually meet someone who really does have it. And then all skepticism goes away. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
I'm sorry, I don't mean
That's fine. That's fine. If it wasn't a thing, I don't know what my parents would take me to test for every 2 years of my life.
Anyway. They did do that though, didn't they?
Yeah. Anyway,
moving on. So, news stuff. Things happen in the world.
Yep.
Christmas was good.
Christmas was very nice. Shad got me an awesome gift. Shad and his wife got me an awesome gift. I was using it so, literally every single day while you guys were gone. And I unfortunately had to pack all the Warhammer stuff away to clean up. But yeah, awesome gift. And so, they got me like 30-year-old Warhammer figurines. And they're in mint condition. I think Nathan might have accidentally stepped on one of them, but otherwise they're in mint condition.
Warhammer's one of those things. The older it is, the better it is.
Well, it's like everything, milk... never mind that.
So what's the first news article?
The first bit of news is, I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's 2022.
Yeah, new year.
New year.
We've made it this far.
What's going to happen this year?
It's weird when I reflect on the last year, because they're like horrible year, worst year ever and stuff. But at the same time, I do live in the country, and so it wasn't nearly as bad as I admit other people have had some really rough times over that year.
And not only that, but it's the best, most comfortable time in human history, and we're in a Western
Well, I
world.
mean, when you compare it to the Black Plague, this, pandemic is
Well,
like
some people-
the softest, cushiest pandemic in the state of society, which is the most literally privileged, like cushy, pampered. Like in the modern world, if you're living in a first world country, if you have electricity and internet, like the fact that we can get through imposed quarantines and all that stuff, that we have internet and entertainment and stuff like just endlessly available, is an unbelievable blessing. Like, think about what in the Black Plague, they did have quarantines in the Black Plague, especially in cities. That's when they could be imposed, because it was harder to enforce the rule of law when things were more decentralized and there wasn't like technology enabling monitoring of every person in the world.
That's true. But at the same time, 150 years ago, do you think they sat around bored all the time?
Yeah, isn't that interesting,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's actually a whole nother discussion about, is the modern day actually better? Like, it's better in a lot of instances, but it's also not better in other instances.
I know Uncle Ted said the Industrial Revolution and its effects have been disastrous for mankind.
See, I don't know, I wouldn't go that far. Like,
I think it kind of
no,
has.
look, medical
it's a domino effect.
medical technology has been pretty darn great. It's great that, you're not going to die of smallpox and stuff. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I love vaccines. You know, the ones that cure you.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
things,
yeah,
That
like-
stop you from ever getting it.
I know, they're great, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're
Like,
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But also, there's other luxuries in the modern day. Like the prevalence and quantity of food we have so easily. But the problem is, if you just take away supermarkets from society, most people die and starve to death. They have no means of self-reliance.
Menu log. Order from
Yeah,
McDonald's.
take away that. Like, people do not know how to produce their own food for their own survival.
That's true.
And that's like our society, as great as it is more fragile than human society has ever been in any other time in history. And
Yep.
we have so many ways. If you take away one of these, or click over a domino, and everything's going to come crashing. Like, that's why I love preppers. I want to be a prepper. One of my life
Yes.
goals is to be a prepper.
Yeah.
I think those are the people who get it and understand it. They're great.
Jordan Peterson talks about it. The reason our society works is because there's some poor guy who will get up at 4 a.m. to fix a broken power pole, you know? So, thank you, that person.
Yeah, I mean, everything there. Our homes are so reliant on electricity. A good analogy is that most modern homes are basically on life support.
Yeah.
And if you take away electricity, they will not keep you properly warm in winter. They, there's actually a lot of problems with it. You wouldn't be able to cook your food. You wouldn't be able to keep your homes lit at night. Like, you wouldn't even have water. like they're these husk shells that are just being kept alive by these other things. One of my dream, like the home that I want to build on the property, well, I'm already designing it, is it going to be a self-sufficient home. I'm going to have an electric stove, but also a wood fire stove, so we can still bake and cook and stuff. So it's just interesting how fragile society is, more so than any other time. And fragile, just not in how it's sustaining, but fragile in terms of the states between nations. I mean, we've got so many guns pointed at each other. Like,
Yep.
how many nukes do we have to destroy the Earth how many times over?
There's 550 million firearms in circulation. That's one gun for every 11 people. The only question is, how do we arm the other 11? Thank you, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I've actually seen that movie.
Good movie, isn't it?
I don't remember too much about, but it was engaging. I watched it.
He sold guns.
Yeah, he did sell guns. We got off on a bit of a tangent there.
We have.
but
Well,
it's
we're
the
talking
whole-
about
it's
the
the whole,
Yeah.
but it's the whole
the new
society,
year.
new
It's
year,
been a while.
collapse of things, and it all stemmed from like as bad as last year was. It's been a lot worse at other points in history. Is kind of my point. Like, imagine going through the Black Plague, where you get it, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
But
Before we didn't have so much to lose, because I wasn't alive then. You know?
I'm not saying it wasn't bad, but even though I handled better than other people living in the country. There were still times of crappiness. Don't get me wrong. I had to quarantine for 2 weeks, right, and that did suck. But admittedly, I was able to handle a lot better than, say, if I had nothing. Like I had a computer, I can play games and things. But...
Yeah. You could spend time with the family. Oh, who wants to do that? I'm kidding. Yeah, so it's 2022. What do we have in store? How many crappy Netflix TV shows will come out? I think it's just going to be the same old, a twist here and there.
Gosh, yeah, I think you're right about the TV show stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a few of those stories in here.
Really? Is there going to be any
good news?
Good? Is there anything projected that's going to be good in TV and film?
No. No. We're pretty much doomed. Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, well, not this year. Arcane might be coming 2023 if we're lucky. If we're lucky. Not this year, though.
I don't think it'll come out next year either.
Oh, I hope so. It's my one big...
Will the Batman be good, do you think?
I think it will.
I don't know. Good. Every trailer's giving me a different impression each time.
I'm like...
Because first one was like very like thriller-esque, kind of detectively. Then it was action-y. Then it was cheesy Batman flick. Like each trailer I'm like, okay, what am I going to go see? So now I don't know what I'm going to go watch when I go see it.
They could just continue on the Nolan Batman.
They can't. They lost Ledger. If Ledger survived, they would have done 50 with him. And it would have been great.
Like, it's easily the best Batman's, we've ever been given. And there was plot to be able to be continued on. Like, they even set it up. He didn't really die, okay? They set up Robin's introduction, and so he could actually be introduced more thoroughly. Look, I don't think what's the actor who did it?
Christian Bale.
Bale. I don't think Bale will come back for the role, but you could recast him and still in the same universe. And I mean, they even set up the whole arc with Talia al Ghul. Like, he slept with Talia al Ghul. Yeah. Oh, did she?
Yes.
Did she?
Well, it didn't look like it. Was
no, she lived. And so, because in the comics, Bruce and Talia have a son, and he becomes the fourth Robin. And so, you have all that. Right?
I mean, she literally did die in the end
why,
of the last
Why
movie.
reboot it when you had such a good foundation to keep moving on?
Well, that's why I'm saying stop rebooting movies and start just picking them up,
If they're good, yeah.
Yeah. But don't, reboot a hero.
Everyone's wanting a sequel now to Amazing Spider-Man and the Tobey Maguire ones after we saw them in...
I've got a thing in here about that.
Yeah?
Yeah. So should we get on to the next?
I guess so. It's just, there's so much we could reflect on about the years transpiring and New Year stuff and things.
We're going to reflect on it this year because the exact same things will happen.
You reckon?
Yes. There might be one thing where we remember that.
Yeah,
Think about the last 5 years, 3 years.
You think we're past the bad period, but then you see things happening and then people wanting to do the exact same thing. It's like the only thing that might be different is people getting more fed up with the crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we need a market crash for things to change.
What? Wait, why? You realise what happens when there's a market crash?
As in, for a certain industry.
You know what happens when there's a market crash
but a full market crash is, well... Hey, all right, are we going to do apocalypse doom and gloom predictions now?
Why not? Take the black pill.
Because it's very possible. You just be prepared, people.
It's going to happen. It always does. It's just a matter of when.
That's what history has kind of shown us. What civilization has not fallen?
Ours yet?
Yet. And the thing is, the current modern day civilizations, they're not that old.
Well, and don't worry, this isn't what's the word, demonetizable.
Well, hang on. What do you compare civilizations though? Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
there's certainly regimes have come and gone in the modern day.
I don't know. Comment down below. And this is okay to say on YouTube because plenty of people say it. It's being done on purpose. So just wait, and try to get good with your God.
It is the World Economic Forum that's pushing the Great Reset, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and various...
Would that be come about from a crash, or they're just...
There's a lot of different theories as to how they're going to do it. There's a lot of different... My theory, personally, is that all they need to do is make people lose trust in their institutions, because if they wanted to make people think, oh, government, good for you, trust our government, they're doing a pretty bad job of it. So I think they actually want people to completely distrust their government, so their own people tear down their government, and later on they'll come in like, hey, join us, we've got tons of these goodies that you'll love.
Okay, so you think it's going to be kind of like a private corporation.
Well, by definition, it is.
Yeah.
You know?
What is it? Like oligarchy? Like
No, it's
like.
I don't know how they're going to rule it from the top, but I know that.
But there needs to be centralized authority and control of everything to do the Great Reset.
Well, that's where it's going to fail. I mean, how can they actively control the entirety of the planet? They can't do it. There'll always be splinter factions. Yeah. They won't be able to take control of the corruption that will be in their system, because corruption works in every system.
It's interesting how tight it would be with economics. Like, I'm worried about inflation and how that's going to hit things. And so, what were you saying when you say you're expecting a market crash?
Well, what happened, I think, in the 80s with games, with Atari and stuff, they made like E.T., Indiana Jones, all these really crappy games, and basically no one bought games the following years because they're just doing really just poor excuses for entertainment. And so I feel like we're not there yet with movies, but there'll come a point where people will just stop going to the movies and stop buying things just because of the bad taste.
I'm not sure. Like, you know, when we were saying like a full market crash, it would be apocalyptic. But I'm actually not sure it would be apocalyptic. That's the thing about it. There is a lot of infrastructure in place, and even if like governments fell, markets crash, and everything like that, the infrastructure for producing vast quantities of food and electricity and stuff, it's all still there. And so even if there was massive collapses, I don't think it would go apocalyptic. I think people would have to group together maybe smaller communities or organizations and stuff to keep things going in the local area. Like, say Australia went to put, right? Where we currently live, we have a power station not far away. We have heaps of farmers all around our local area.
Lots of land.
Lots of land.
Massive resources around the power plant too.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a massive, like, literally most of the coal. Yeah, most of the coal that's dug to provide electricity to Victoria is like right near us, right?
Yep.
I don't think we would go into a horrible apocalyptic scenario. I mean, for the short term, there'll be some bad situations, like trying to recreate the supply lines and stuff. Supermarkets would crash, there'll have to be more local suppliers. But when people know where they can go to get their food, and they'd have to find new ways to earn what the currency is being now, because like if the dollar goes kaput, people would be trading other valuable things, and they might have to trade actual physical labor and then new, producers and stuff. I don't think it would go to crap. And I'm hoping to build a place that would be mostly, self-sufficient and good. Potatoes. I'm getting into potatoes. I've already loved potatoes. I'm talking about growing. Like, if you want an easy to grow food that could support you nearly, all year round, friggin' potatoes, man.
Isn't there a $20,000 potato inside your house right now? I'm sitting at your desk.
Screw you. That hurt, Oz. That hurt.
Don't tell them why it hurt.
It's not actually a potato.
It just doesn't work properly and it costs 20 grand. You can bet if I bought like a buggy and it was missing a wheel, I'd be pretty upset.
That was actually going to be a foundational thing to help, business run with people working across the globe. Like, look, I made a very expensive computer that was made to be able to be a remote connection one that people could run multiple PCs off. Hasn't worked out the best, because now you guys are just here, so we're not using it as a remote PC, but it's got grunt, okay? What about the render thing?
Yeah, render's wonderful.
Tell them how long your render was versus the rendering on my machine.
Mine was like 3.5 hours,
Three and a
yours
half?
is like 25 minutes.
No, it was a 5-minute one versus like a huge one on yours. Yeah.
It's not about...
It was big, it was
It's
fast.
not about the length of the render, okay? It's about...
It was a gritty render too, though. It was a green screen one with all those layers and stuff.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
then.
it was a very intensive render.
Yeah.
And so, look, the machine is useful now and then.
Anyway, back to the apocalypse. I think that if things get dire enough, governments will set down martial law and just create more tyranny, except it'll be mask off. It'll be like real bullets in the guns instead of plastic, rubber bullets.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what would happen in Australia. I mean, Australia doesn't have a huge military. That's one advantage of if they tried to impose martial law. The country's way too big for them to maintain it. I don't know. I don't see it going that way. We despise our politicians too much to let them get away with stuff like that.
I think that people would actually come, maybe not cities, but communities, like actual proper communities would come together and be like, okay, no more of this BS.
Yeah, that's what I kind of think.
Name Shad king of the area.
If I could, I'll just try and set up a situation where I can keep control of my property, and then the property would be enough to support my family and loved ones. And I'm not before I even build the house and move onto the property, I'm going to be growing potatoes out of buckets. You can grow buckets. They get huge. I've been watching YouTube videos on them. You just get like a bucket, grow heaps of potatoes in them.
But where
Potatoes,
you get the
man.
bucket in the apocalypse?
Well, I'm going to get them beforehand. This is all the prep work. Remember how I said I want to be a prepper? Potatoes is where it's at.
Can I be your like Samwise to your Mad Frodo?
Maybe.
To your apocalyptic Frodo Baggins? I want to see that movie. All right.
But anyway, I want to find easily producible means of self-sustaining and stuff. And so, I mean, wood is easy. There's wood everywhere. So heating and cooking and stuff. And then food is always the sticking one. But potatoes is a good start. And then I'll be planting orchards and things.
You need meat.
Yeah, rabbits.
Rabbits.
See, if you've been watching our content, you know what my plans are for rabbits. And so,
Yeah. Just don't only eat them.
I got plans, people.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, if I have like a self-sustaining little, farmstead, it would be a homestead, I think you would call
We'll
it.
need guns.
Homesteading. Yeah, people might be coming because like they got food and we don't have food. They're starving and they could barbarians at the gates.
We'll happily help them.
But the thing is, I do have lots of weapons.
I was going to say, Shane, you got a whole just wall full of weapons.
But
Yeah,
now, because
yeah,
I do
guns.
own a large property, I need to get some guns for vermin control. That's the reasons why.
Well, there's lots of probably rats, kangaroos, snakes. Geez, snakes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Spiders.
Shotgun is where it's at.
foxes. Yep.
And so, that's something that I'll be looking at the semi-near future.
Yeah.
Getting. So we can get guns in Australia. It's just a very lengthy, involved process.
Yeah.
But I think it would be useful to have some guns. And so Australia gun laws were restricted by they have to be action reloading. They can't be semi-automatic.
Can't do semi-auto.
So you're looking at lever action, bolt action, or reload every shot kind of stuff. So shotguns, you can do the double barrel reload shotgun things. Pump action, I'm not sure how. I think pump action should technically be allowed.
I don't know if pump action shotguns are. I know I've seen a pump action 22 in Australia before.
Yeah.
But there's only 22. So.
Yeah, but so we can't get. Well, if you're a member of a gun club, you can get semi-automatics, and handguns are usually very hard to get hold of. But if you're a part of a gun club going to shooting ranges, it's a very involved process. But you can get handguns as well. It's difficult. Yeah.
So next bit of news.
I guess so. This has just been a fun conversation.
It has,
though.
hasn't it? See, we should do podcasts more often. Just see where it goes.
Just see where it goes.
Yeah. But
Tell
not
us what you
today.
think. Tell us what you think about general. But that's what nightly news kind of is. That it's just
Yeah,
But then
it's
we had to
topics.
always hold ourselves to the news. We can't have those deep discussions.
Well, reacting to the news, to be specific. We are not
Reacting.
news people.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
not
yeah.
news. Not even if there's a fire.
So apple teas, of course, is non-alcoholic, but it's basically kind of like an apple cider, but
Yeah, it does taste. I don't like it though.
I like it.
I like because alcohol has a little tang to it, which I'm not allowed to drink anymore. But back when I did,
You choose not to drink it.
well, I mean, I choose
It's
not.
not like
to.
I'm holding a gun to your head, like, don't you dare.
No, I choose not to because I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Same reason I don't drink coffee or tea, even though I love those drinks. Same reason I don't. I won't actually finish that one anymore. Okay, so Tim Pool gets swatted.
Yeah, so this is kind of related to the news article because we are interested in what happens to other content creators online, and so
Yeah.
it's not
We
we're not
did-
going all political, but this is an interesting one.
We did 2 whole videos on Lindsay Ellis.
That was a really interesting thing, and
It was very
not only
interesting.
was it interesting, it seems like a lot of our viewers found it interesting because they got really good views, and there was a lot to learn and break down. And I actually have a decent amount of follow-up things. I think I want to do a dedicated video just on my thoughts on cancel culture generally. Just some highlights of the video that I hope to make coming out. I actually don't think Lindsay Ellis was cancelled.
Oh yeah, no, it was. I think it was a money thing.
Well, no. Yeah, cancellation is something that is imposed upon you, usually against your will, by people who have control over certain aspects of your life, like cancelling your bank account or ability to use credit cards, or you're getting you fired from your business and stuff like that. Nothing like that happened to Lindsay. She just got attacked. When I say attacked, she got criticised a lot, and then she couldn't hack it, and she checked out of online life, which is probably a good choice for her mentally.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I think she was in this specific instance, the criticism against her wasn't valid because what she said was. But anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
But then I also want to talk about cancel culture in a larger kind of context, because I find it really interesting. Maybe I'm already trying to getting started. It's getting me into that topic.
We'll do a podcast on it sometime.
Maybe a
Easy
podcast.
peasy. Once you've got your thoughts fully formed.
Well, they're fully formed. They're ready to come out. I'm holding back because
Hold back, please.
I'm trying. I'm
Pull
like,
up.
they're so cool.
We're talking about Tim Pool getting swatted.
Okay, yeah, he did get swatted.
He got swatted live on stream.
Bad, very bad. It's I kind of do agree in the extreme interpretation that this is almost could be considered attempted murder, because that's the extreme level of what can happen out of swatting.
Yeah, but look, man, like, it's complicated, okay? Like, if he wanted to, he could just go down by the river in his van, you know? He's just this guy from the south side of Chicago. Didn't you know? He was actually at Invade Wall Street, whatever it was called, Occupy Wall Street. Do you know who was at that?
Yeah. So you're obviously trying to do a meme here.
I'm just quoting him because he says all of those at least 10 times in his life.
It's true. Sometimes he does need to repeat himself. But look, yeah, like, not good. What else can be said on it?
He survived.
Well, of course, they could have been a lot more serious.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that they had like employees, you know, who ran into the cops who they were going outside, and so they prevented a big invasion. There's a discussion about imminent cause, or something. I don't allow them to go in. He's a bit, you know, sus on, and it's very likely they're going to catch who caught it, who did it.
Hope they get him.
And yeah, like they deserve to have the book thrown at them
because it's attempted murder.
So you agree it goes that far? You think?
If it's killed people, if it's an accident,
it has,
killed many people.
I mean, it's not like a guaranteed, you know, I'm trying to send a bomb to someone's house.
It's manslaughter.
But yeah, it's got the possibility of resulting in that.
But it's got intent, you know, it's a dangerous thing. It's anyway, assault by police. Not by the police, but like using the police as a... Anyway, I'm going to stop right there. So, bad news. Our very funny grandma, Betty White, has passed away at age 99.
Pausing on that, going back on the Tim Pool thing.
Yeah.
Do you think someone, like... It doesn't really happen in Australia, does it? Like...
Swatting?
Swatting?
Not really, no.
Not really. Tell you what, a lot of suicide by cop happens in Australia. I know that much.
Moving on, so Betty White.
Yeah, Betty White. 99 years old.
Am I just a cold-hearted bastard? I don't know. I've never watched enough of her content to be so... Betty White!
She was a very funny old lady.
Yeah.
She had some charm.
Like...
And being in the industry...
I rarely hold entertainers on a pedestal unless I have almost a personal connection with them and them being really good people. And there's very few celebrities that ever reach that. And at the best... There are celebrities that I like and I think are decent people, and I would give like Keanu Reeves, Hugh Jackman, but so many celebrities are such garbage people that I don't think just being entertainer and being well known gives you clout for being. She's a funny person. She seemed like a nice person. I don't know enough about her to feel.
Well, you should.
She lived a good long life.
Benefit of the doubt, then.
Yeah.
Just because she's a celebrity doesn't mean she's a scumbag.
I'm not saying she is, but...
I'd at least wait for the spacey accusations to come out, you know?
Well, actually, people were trying to say that she was probably racist, which I think is horrible. Like,
she's racist. She was born in the 1930s.
Her last name is White, Oz.
So was Gandalf's. And he was fighting the tides of darkness.
Well, he was pretty racist against orcs and goblins. You can't deny that.
Yeah, and trans people, the Witch King. Is Lord of the Rings an alt-right movie?
Gosh. Are they going to try to address all these aspects in the Amazon one?
Absolutely.
Like, you reckon they're going to be talking about orc and goblin rights? Like, you shouldn't mistreat them just because they're orcs and goblins. Like, there's going to be a scene, this is real. I can't, but that they capture a goblin and everything like that. And there's going to be this something about you needed to understand where he was coming from and that he was oppressed, and that's why the goblin was trying to kill babies, and or something like that. Or the goblin isn't, or orc isn't as bad. This individual one is just not as bad as you think they are. They're the oppressed ones because it was Saruman, a bad guy that made them that way. It's not their fault.
Well, technically, he did. Technically.
He did.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't feel guilt. Sorry, it doesn't mean that you can't feel What am I trying to
Less
say?
guilt.
Less guilt for hate. Like, yes, hate orcs and goblins, these vicious baby murdering monster creatures. It goes to the whole discussion about can you call something that doesn't have choice to be evil evil?
No.
I think in common language, yes.
I don't think so. I think only things with a choice.
If I
moral
create
understanding.
a doomsday weapon that is meant to kill innocent people, it's an evil weapon.
No, you're evil.
The intent behind the purpose of its creation can contextualize what it is.
But evil
Goblins and orcs are inherently, depending on the lore background, but if they're made to be evil, even though they don't have any choice in the matter, they are evil.
This conversation gives me deja vu.
No,
Why?
I think
Because
only
this
have
has
a
been
choice.
brought up several times before. I feel like, did you do a video on this or?
No, I
Inherent
almost. Oh, look, this is the whole reaction to the extra credits thing.
Yeah, 'cause I feel
and
like
I
I've-
almost did a. We almost did a video
Yeah.
response, but then we ended up.
Because
to be
all
clear.
of this, I'm like, oh, why is this like a core memory from back in the day?
I'll just clarify. I'm not sure whether orcs are evil because they don't get a choice, right? They do seem pretty evil. But a bomb that kills everyone, you're the one that's evil for making that, not the bomb.
But if the tool's purpose is to do evil things, it is an evil tool.
I just disagree.
Okay.
I think evil is an intent.
No, but that's the intent behind its creation. That's
Well, if
the
I
whole
crash
thing.
my car and accidentally kill 3 people, not that I'd be driving, right? Like,
No, I wouldn't call that evil. But
is a car evil?
no, but see, if I created,
Now I'd say I swerved into people
what if
on
I
purpose.
created a car for the purpose of killing people?
Well, there you go. You're evil.
And the car, I've created an evil tool.
Is the car an AI? Is it evil Knight Rider? Is it evil Kid?
But if its purpose is to do evil things, you can call it absolutely evil.
You can't pick up an axe and say you're evil because I'm going to kill someone with you.
You're right. Weapons are different, right? But I don't know. See, if there
You
was,
use a car as a
was
weapon.
what about if there was an axe that was only ever used in the most?
You just said a
horrifically-
bomb that would blow up and kill
No,
people. That's evil.
let's look at an axe. If bombs are an interesting one, because is there ever a righteous or good use for a bomb? Oh yeah,
Yeah, mining.
and also, like I think the use of the atomic bombs in World War II were justified. So I'm not to say it's a good thing, but it was a necessary thing to avoid. Anyway, it's a really interesting, complicated historical study if you want to go into that. But all right, an axe that only has killed innocent people and has done the most horrifically vile things. To me, that almost imbues a soul in this object because of its history and what
The
it's
story
done.
setting's based on that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Therefore, because of all the evil this object has done, you could call it an evil weapon.
Well, what if the axe is like, I don't want to do this, but yours like, no, I'm killing people with you.
I reckon that would eventually, if you do it again and again, it could eventually corrupt the spirit and soul. Thing.
Okay, now snap back to reality. Okay, like
No, but the thing is, humans impose identity on things by our perception, and you do that too. You even told me, like, I would feel bad if you gave a pencil a name and then snapped that
I
pencil.
stole that from Community.
You would feel bad, yeah. But so humans do that. We almost personify objects, and
Doesn't mean we're right.
well, I wonder. I feel it's an interesting aspect of reality and how we interact with it and stuff,
Yeah.
and the concept of identity and intelligence and all that stuff.
And that all humans are inherently superstitious in some form.
Yeah, I'll agree
There's
with that.
no completely objective person.
Anyway, my point is, we've already argued about the objective thing.
Well, no, I didn't mean in that sense. I didn't mean in judgment. I just meant in the way we look at things generally.
Going back to the thing, so yeah, I think you can rightfully call an object evil if it's only ever done evil things. Doesn't mean that it can't be redeemed, and you could try and use it for good things, but the concept of evil is more than just action. I think intent and what it has done can, like, if there was, you would say animals can't be evil. But if there was a bear that only hunted out babies and to eat babies, innocent babies and stuff like that, okay, even though the bear, I wonder, like, I think animals can feel emotion, maliciousness and stuff, and so maybe there is a level of
You ever read
cruelty.
Moby Dick? You ever read Moby Dick?
No, I haven't.
It's about the guys who go after the whale that sunk their boat. The point of the book is you can't get revenge against animals. They're not moral agents. Humans are.
Well, the thing is, though, I think animals have emotions and they can act out of spite
But they
and
don't
viciousness.
But they don't understand things.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, if they are doing, they might not understand it's evil, but we can understand morality. And if their acts, from our perception, are always evil, we could call it evil and be justified. So,
Okay, here's a thought experiment, right? Let's take a zoo elephant, right? His entire life has been whipped. Just whipped and beaten and stuff like that. One day he goes berserk and just breaks out, kills a few people in the process. You know, grabs his tamers and starts breaking their bones. Is he evil?
Probably not.
Well, there you go. So animals can feel emotion and they feel memory.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have a moral understanding of good and evil, so they can't commit it.
But see, that's a different context, because in that instance, we kind of understand what drove the animal to that. But what if there was no justification for this animal's cruelty as we can obviously see it, and it's just acting out of this delight in maliciousness and vindictiveness on an emotional level? I would call that animal evil.
Well, we can't know the entirety of context for everything.
I know, but I'm saying hypothetically, if you read the mind of this animal and understand that they're acting out in this pure delight of cruelty,
Well,
you could call it evil.
Here's a real one that actually happened, right?
Yeah.
There was an orca at SeaWorld that...
I thought you were going to say orc.
No, there's an orca at SeaWorld, probably distant cousin species-wise. It had, somehow it got a little girl's leg in its mouth, and if this thing just literally slightly bit down, would have broken her leg off completely, right? And it sat there for a few minutes, everyone was around it like, don't move guys, and they just let it go.
Yeah, see, this is the... Like, if we are willing to impose goodwill on animals' actions that we perceive as good, and we do that, we should be... we have every right to impose our interpretation of their actions as being evil when they're also bad. And yeah, perfectly.
It's definitely a moral quandary.
But because we see animals show, in rare instances, remarkable acts of mercy.
Valor and mercy,
and like,
Dolphins.
exactly what dogs save babies from burning buildings and
Just
stuff.
as much as they can, if they're a pit bull.
Right, but things like that, where they have, on an emotional instinctive level, do good things, and we ascribe them as noble, good animals, we can also do the reverse, and if they're evil, yeah, perfectly fine.
I don't know.
So that whole larger conversation, I think, is the whole, orcs can't be evil. No, of course they can. Shut up.
Well, maybe orcs are different, but for me, animals, I don't think they can commit evil. They might be able to commit good, which I know that's a bit of a contradiction. But it's just but that's just my opinion. I don't think we can ascribe evil to something that has no moral agency.
I'm more than happy to, and if an animal is evil, like overtly evil...
Okay, so, more bad news. Sidney Poitier dies at age 94.
Who's she?
He.
He.
He's a very, very, very famous black actor from an era where...
What's the movie he's been in?
Oh, man. Something Blades of... I can't remember. Again, he's from... He was born in 1922. He was active during the 60s and 70s.
What's his name again?
Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier.
Man, you put in your, password quickly.
Yeah.
He's a gamer.
Gosh.
Because he's always near me. And so I'm like...
Oh, he looks
not
familiar. Yeah, I've seen him in stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, Oz. It's fine.
So, obviously, he went through the era of severe racism in America, and he came through it as a great actor, so that's something to be respectable about. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yep. Don't know anything else about his personal life. So, what worries me, there are, actors who were beloved in their time, and they were, seen as these really great people. Then after the fact, you find about horrifically bad things that they've done. And so I'm always reluctant to be so gushing over people I know so little about.
Well, who he is gushing? We're just saying this person died, and rest in peace to that person. As far as we're aware, they weren't a Hollywood pedophile, so let's say rest in peace.
Now.
But the problem, there are so many Hollywood pedophiles.
Yeah.
I just think it's good for them that they've lived this long.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than all those other actors we lost. What was it, 2016, that all died, all the British guys that died at 50?
Like, Shad, what if Stan Lee came out, and not obviously.
See, now Stan Lee, he genuinely strikes me as a decent person.
Yeah, okay, but what if you were wrong in your judgment? What if it came out that he literally
It would just
killed...
prove my cynicism correct, and I'd become more cynical.
Don't do that. You're our shining beacon of hope. All right. So, Queen Elizabeth, age 95, still alive. Okay.
I expected her to kick the bucket 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's still here. I thought by 80, she's done now.
And she looks the same. She's 90, but she doesn't look a day over 70.
95.
Good for her. But also when her husband died too, I was like, she's because usually when like in a marriage, when someone dies, the one's not far behind. So if she makes it through to this year, I'm going to be surprised.
Women live longer than men.
This is weird. I suspect that she is a more decent person than I am aware of, and she always gets crapped on. Am I wrong?
Do you want me to tell you about the theories surrounding the royal family?
I know there's a lot
Princess
of shitty
Diana?
stuff with like I'm talking about the Queen here. I know Prince Charles is an absolute scumbag.
You will know them by their fruits.
Actively cheating on. But also, there's rumours
that's
that
That's the least dodgy thing he's done.
Didn't he have like an approved mistress during the marriage that everyone was aware of, and Di couldn't handle it? That's why she almost threw her down. Well, not almost. She threw herself down the stairs, almost committing suicide.
I think
Diana.
Yeah. No, I think what got Diana, how she accidentally died, was that she was actually seeing someone, and that person is actually Harry's father, or.
Well, this is the thing, right? I had never heard of any of that until. It was the whole Meghan Markle bullcrap stuff,
debacle, yeah.
And which is just don't even get me started. But some of the reasons that arose as to why the royal family were willing to divorce themselves from what's the guy's name?
Harry and Meghan. Yeah.
Harry was that
he's ginger.
He does not. Let's just say he does not look like his. Prince Charles in any measure.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll have to bring up the photo. If you're ready, bring up the photo of the supposed man that was having an affair with Princess Diana, and this is pretty public knowledge about this rumoured affair.
Yep.
Look at him and look at Harry. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa! It's like twins with just a slight difference in age. I was like, usually I'm suspect on rumours. When I saw that, I was like, gee, I'm pretty much convinced.
Yeah, it's like that. There's a few of those going around, by the way.
Yeah.
There's Justin Trudeau and that dictator of Cuba, who his mum hung out with for a long time before he was born. They look exactly the same. Like literally identical, except one has a beard.
It's like, you can't prove anything in modern day, but I'm just saying, if this is Game of Thrones time, that is more than enough evidence.
Yeah.
Blonde of hair, blue of eye. Blonde of hair, blue of eye.
Let's not go any further down that road. That's problematic now, Shad. Don't trust your lying eyes. All right. The CW is being sold.
That's all I have to say.
The CEO of CW, he confirmed this. Would you like to know what his name is? And it's spelled exactly how it sounds. His name is Mark Pedowitz. What an unfortunate name. Me and Nathan were speculating names he might change to. Maybe Mark Sex Offender, or Mark Not So Great with Kids, or Mark My House on that website that everyone checks when they get a new house. Plenty of different names he could have chosen.
When we're not saying anything, we're just joking.
It's just a name.
It's a name.
Although he's in Hollywood. It's just a name.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Where has there ever been a Hollywood producer who's owned like a production company that has ever done anything bad with
anyone?
Apart from that one time.
Only that one time.
He was not the sacrificial goat. He wasn't. All right.
Even though I laugh, the CW is such trash.
Awful.
Like they've actively burnt their whole thing around them by going out of their way to make horrible
woke trash.
Yeah, like just look what happened to Supergirl and then Batwoman. Oh my goodness! And this is the thing where you think they would learn the lesson. Yeah, they keep renewing it. For the virtue points? It's like
Shad.
They can't admit that they're wrong, and so that's why they keep burning the ship down while it's burning.
It's 2022. Everything is too big to fail. We have nothing to say. We only get an occasional breadcrumb like what do you call it? The anime one getting cancelled. What was that?
Cowboy Bebop.
See, I've already forgotten what it's called. It's only every once in a while. Hopefully, hold your fingers for...
Well, hang on. Technically, there's been a lot more. Like, did they make a sequel to the Ghostbusters?
They literally just bought out a new one now.
But they
didn't make
retconned the last one.
No, they didn't. They actually added a digital code. So if you bought the collector's edition, you'd get it because of feminists.
No, the director crying about it on Twitter.
But he's a feminist. So.
He is. No, but seriously, like, are they gonna be remaking the Terminator? Like, is it gonna be a sequel to that reboot? Like, there's been so many failed woke garbage films that they've legitimately failed. Then people aren't gonna be continuing on. And the only few exceptions where they've been dragging out this kind of corpse of a show is the CW, with like Batwoman and stuff. Is there any other ones? I mean, I know there's like really woke.
Legends of Tomorrow is horrifically bad.
I've heard it.
They all suck.
I have not heard of anything that's actually good quality coming out of the CW, and that's separate to just the political agenda that's driving so many of their shows. Just put that aside. Is there anything good? Period.
No. Nothing redeems it.
And so that one I'm laughing at. Like, that is a you get what you deserve thing.
All right, so Morbius, the Marvel movie that no one knew was coming out, has been delayed. I think this is the second time though.
This is really weird for me. Like, so I read and even used to own. I wonder if I could dig him out. Comics of so Morbius is a Spider-Man character, technically a Spider-Man villain, and the arc, I can't remember when he was introduced. All I remember is the part one that I was reading, and I don't know if that was him being introduced, but the arc that I was reading, Spider-Man, was like this epic thing that, for some reason, Morbius was after Spider-Man, and no matter what Spider-Man did, he couldn't beat him, and he was just beating on it, and Morbius was just this tank, and it was this really interesting villain that was just so tough that Spider-Man, it got to the point where Spider-Man had to retreat and get away because he just couldn't beat this guy, and he would then hunt him down and have to fight him off and then to retreat, and it was this big epic thing. But so anyway, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But to make a whole movie around this character?
Well, that's the thing. That's where my theory comes in.
I
have a theory. I have a theory as to
Okay.
why it was delayed. I think that they're going to insert Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man into it because they confirmed at the
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. I reckon they're going to do a Rogue One type, like Darth Vader thing at the end with Andrew.
But Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's
I know it makes no
current
sense.
universe.
No, but here's the thing: it makes no sense because they've already got Michael Keaton's.
Yeah, I'm so confused. Like, how wouldn't it have to be?
They've screwed up the timelines. This is what happens when you get with timelines and wormholes and stuff like that. You know, because they had in the trailer for Morbius, picture of Spider-Man up on the wall that said "murderer," which would imply Tom Holland Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, they've completely messed it up, and that's why I think they've delayed it. Because the day that I saw that it said it was the day after it said it was delayed.
Oh, there's my drink.
Wait. So I saw a thing on Facebook saying it is now confirmed that.
Keep talking. I want to see if I still have this comic book.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Facebook that said it is now confirmed that Andrew Garfield will be in Morbius.
Holy crap! I think I found it first up.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then the next day, the news came out that it's been delayed. So that's what I think has happened.
I can't believe I found it so easy. First of all, look at the quality of this cover art.
Can I see it?
This is
that's pretty.
This is from J. Scott Campbell, one of the most talented comic book artists in the world. But that is just top tier,
Also good condition, Shane.
gorgeous cover art. I should put this in a sleeve, actually.
Yeah.
And so it starts off. Look at it. There's Morbius.
Hey, it's
right
Morbius.
There. So
Looks like an anime villain.
that's Spider-Man
Scary.
fighting Morbius, and so the internal art is different from the cover artist. This is J. Scott Romita Jr. This is done by Romita Jr. And like, look at this, right? Look.
Beautiful.
Do you see Spider-Man laying into him?
Yep.
And he just can't win. He's just like bang bang, and then Morbius just boots him for a 6. So it's a really dynamic man. What happened to comic books?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. When's the last time you bought one?
Like, oh gosh, look at this. Look at this like montage battle of Spider-Man duking it out with Morbius, right? Well, how old is this comic actually? September US 09? But that's the no.
Can't be 09. It's older than that.
Try the back.
So comic books is just like, you know,
It's got a Game Boy.
they were like vehicles for billboards. Like, I want to see what some of the ads is in. Tobacco, wacko, if you're a teen. So that was their version of a public service announcement. See,
Yeah.
that's the front cover.
Now I see it and I just want to smoke more.
But hang on.
That wouldn't be legal now.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be tobacco.
Oh, look, and so it's just a double-page advert.
Yeah.
Like, just... You know, that's where comic books get a lot of their money, even though they're going to do sales and
They
stuff.
used to be good.
Man, the comic books, such good things. And so he could basically grab onto people and absorb their life essence. I just want to talk about this. I'm so happy I still found it. Like, I knew I would have kept this one because...
You know lefties can do that, right?
What?
They just grab onto you and they keep talking and absorbs your life essence.
Like, look how beaten up he gets in this.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
Like, look at that. Look at that.
You know, I was
like,
a bit up, Shad.
Morbius is tough.
We're
Keep
filming.
it in the light.
Sorry, what? You gonna zoom in? This is Spider-Man getting beaten up. So, could you not see many of the things that I was showing before?
We'll zoom in.
It's a bit darker.
Let me find that montage again.
Johnson.
Double-page
Do a
spread.
little story time with Shad.
Yeah, look at this. This is the glory days of comic book stuff right here. And it was really engrossive. I just read. Remember how I said I was a Spider-Man fan?
Yeah.
This is like
Well, Spider-Man's awesome.
proof. This is when Spider-Man was great.
Did you ever play the PS4 game?
Sorry. So check this out, right? Sorry. So Spider-Man kicks Morbius through a wall, right? And he falls into this kitchen thing. So Morbius is laying there. He gets a match and just flicks it open to blow up the whole thing. And Spider-Man's like, holy crap! And just has to jump out. Like, he was this unstoppable tank. So a great villain and antagonist. And look, Spider-Man gets blown to hell. Look at his, like, back getting scarred up and everything. So anyway, Morbius, interesting character. Don't know how you could do a whole movie on it, but...
Just make him an evil Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, with powers. More than he already has.
Man, I got some cool comics back here.
Should do a thing where you go through all of your books on the bookshelf.
Wouldn't that be like?
Be a great
I
video.
actually had a heap more, but I got rid of them. I kept the ones that were my favourite though, so there's a good thing. I wonder, do I still have my I just want to see if I got my G.I. Joe comic book.
As a soldier, I've never abandoned my post, but my other two teammates have.
I mean, you would, but then you usually turn to us and say, "Hey Nathan, grab my phone for me.
What do you mean?
Give me my..." Oh no, you do. You do leave your post.
I have such a weird one. This is so weird. So this one, you know Gwen Stacy?
Yes.
Admittedly, not all comic book arcs were great. This is a really, really weird one. So these two new kind of villains appear in Spider-Man. It's these people dressed in black. These guys there, right? And Spider-Man's fighting it. Anyway, turns out they're the illegitimate children of Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy. So Norman Osborn slept with Gwen Stacy when she was like, I don't know, 16 or something. While Spider-Man was going out with her.
My goodness, he really was a villain.
And then, and it was consensual though. She like got seduced by him.
If she's 16, it's not consensual.
I guess so. But holy crap, some of the artwork in this is just incredible. Like, check out this piece of artwork in this. So even though the story is pretty weird and bad, the artwork, who did this one? This is Diatoda Jr., it says. But yeah, like, I got this one just for how damn good the art is in it. And there's great action and stuff. And so the whole thing about that is that, you know, he basically, this is the same place where Gwen Stacy died, and then he ends up saving her daughter, and he failed in the instance with Gwen Stacy before. But overall, it's a really weird one when he finds out that it's, yeah, anyway. Sorry, I'm getting distracted!
Shad's a big old nerd.
I am, man.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
I got some cool Wolverine ones.
Anyway, yeah. So they delayed the movie so they could put Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in the end credit scene or something like that. Or just insert him somewhere, you know.
Alright, I've got to show this one off. This is,
Here we go.
This
is the last one.
This is one of, yeah, okay,
Get this thing done.
This is one of the campy greats.
Yeah.
Danger Girl.
What's that?
I reckon you would love this.
Oh, I see. I already love it.
Danger Girl by J. Scott Campbell. It's like this campy send-up of the Bond archetypes, except they're all hot chicks. but a lot of the girls are based off of Bond girls, and like it's top tier stuff. Like the artwork is just unbelievably good in this.
Yeah, I wonder why you find it unbelievable.
Well, as a teenage boy, you can kind of imagine, like, what catches the eye. It's too shy. And so, the thing is, like, it's gorgeous. This artwork is absolutely gorgeous. And what you want your heroes to be, you want them to be beautiful. Like, look, he does the same with the guys. Like, look at how tanked these guys are, right? And it is so campy and awesome where these two, one's like this ninja guy, one's like this black, and they just rip their shirts off and start fighting ninja style. And
oh, there's a miniature Hitler.
There's a mini...
Played by Peter Dinklage.
There's a mini Hitler, right? And, it's so good. The guy just, like, I think some of the lines. So they run into the little guy and it's like, oh my gosh, someone's taking the world domination things a little too far. Just a dab, just a smidget, just a wee bit. It's just ripping because the guy's a midget.
It's a midget Hitler, yeah.
Okay, anyway. Oh gosh. Alright. Let me find one of the artwork is so
wow.
good. Like, look at that, But anyway, let's find a really...
Can't put that on YouTube. That guy looks cool.
Yeah, gee, this is some of the best comic book stuff ever made. This is probably, I wonder how much this would be worth. An original, this is like the climactic final battle scene.
You would climax reading that.
No, oh, come off it, Oz.
No, but seriously, you should actually get like a plastic sleeve for these things.
I probably
Especially
should.
When I read that one.
This one, you want to read it now, don't you?
You missed the joke.
You're gross, Oz. You're friggin' gross.
No, that's cool though.
Like,
it's cool they were still like willing to do stuff like that back then.
Yeah, like they just unashamedly made stuff that was awesome, that would appeal to the reader base. And one of the best examples on it, honestly, is Danger Girl. Like, just unashamedly, let's do stuff that young guys will love, and and not only that, it's fun action stuff.
Yeah. All right, we got to stop with the zooms. It's
Okay,
nausea.
I love the zooms.
No more chat. No, you said last one.
Okay.
Are you going to break your word?
Okay. I have not taken those out to have a look at in years.
No, I reckon do a video of just
Maybe
the bookshelf.
Let me see what
We
people
can go to
Bookshelf
each
video.
portion from the comic books up to the novels.
Yeah.
Man, that would be. I need to fix something else on this floor. But I'll get so distracted. I end up showing off all these cool comic books and
Yeah, and you can do that.
You reckon?
In its own video.
Yeah. Would you guys like that? But
We'll be there for you.
all right, we'll see.
All right.
Sorry for that. A bit of a.
That's fine.
distraction.
We all have fun, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. So, Scott Pilgrim is being made on Netflix now.
Hey, hang on. Was there anything else you wanted to say about Morbius? Did we finish?
I think Jared Leto is not a great actor now. I think he's sniffed his own farts too much. He was good back in the late 90s, but he sucks now. He was great as Paul Allen.
Yeah, he's a mostly unknown character. He's nowhere near as popular and iconic as Venom.
No.
Who's going to watch this movie?
Spider-Man
Sony
fans.
fanboys.
Yeah.
Like, because people who think it's going to be a vampire movie are going to be disappointed because he's like vampire adjacent. It's not a true gory vampire movie that people love about vampire movies, right? And it's not going to be full-blown horror. He's a superhero comic book villain with a vampire-esque.
But he seems to have the powers of Superman. He can fly, he can see through things with echolocation. All he requires is blood.
So, but the thing is that people who know him from the comics, they don't really like him as a leading, interesting character of his own franchise. He was a villain. He was a cool villain that Spider-Man fought and other things. But so I'm very like, is this going to do well?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. All right, yeah. So Scott Pilgrim is being made on Netflix.
But it was a movie, and it was a great movie.
Yeah,
But they're making it into an anime.
An anime.
They're getting one of the anime studios that did one of the Star Wars Visions stuff, which their style's good, and they're gonna turn it into an anime series.
No, I don't trust Netflix
It's
at all.
Netflix.
It's
Oh,
Netflix.
hang on. Is this just Netflix funding a different studio?
Yeah,
Because
they'll probably have creative control.
who have even like because
The original creator's writing the script.
all right, okay.
I don't know.
Well, actually, because they had the original creators of Avatar, Last Airbender, to help out, and then they
bounced,
jumped ship.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's not going to be good.
Because there's political things you must put in your content now, otherwise you don't get funding from places. And so that's what they'll do. They'll go to the creators and be like, you got to put this in.
So that's what you think? You think it's going to be co-opted and
Absolutely.
Netflix?
It's Netflix.
But they didn't do that with Arcane.
They didn't make Arcane.
I know. So who's actually making this? That's my point.
Arcane gave them Riot gave them the what do you even call it? The gift
The
of letting
publishing
them host it.
rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but they had no hand.
But
in
so
it.
this is actually a Netflix production.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Then
I'm
it's
saying-
probably going to be garbage.
Yeah,
They've done some good Korean dramas.
that's Korea.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, how much input do they have? That's what I mean. Who's making what?
Yeah. Because, like, Cowboy Bebop obviously was a lot more Netflix.
Yeah, it was Netflix.
Driven.
Yeah. Where, like,
Basically, the West is completely subverted, but the East is not
which
completely.
it confuses me because you've got these Western creators hiring out an Eastern studio to make it.
Yeah, I still think it's going to have all the work
For a
crap.
Canadian comic book.
It's going. There you go. You got 2 points for wokeness, 1 point for not wokeness.
So I don't know much about Scott Pilgrim apart from the live action
I've got
adaptation,
the comics.
and I really enjoyed the live action adaptation. I thought that was a heck of a lot of fun.
I think they couldn't have chosen a weaker, skinnier person for Scott
They
Pilgrim.
could have picked someone else.
No, I think he did. Look, like I said, I don't know the comics. I enjoyed the movie for what it was, and I think his wimpiness had a great kind of juxtaposition and contrast to when he got into those big epic fights.
Yeah, yeah. I think by itself it was a good movie, and I appreciate it. But after reading the comics, I have thoughts on things.
Oh,
And
really? Well, share your thoughts. This
out
is
of
the
out
moment
of
to
all
share
the
them.
I remember with comics, Shad, I used to borrow, I think it was the Ultimate Spider-Man from the library. But those were good. But then I bought the Scott Pilgrim comic books, and those were really good. In the comics, he's a lot more. But like it's from his perspective. But at the end of the kind of series, it shows that he made it look like he was the hero. But they were like, well, Scott, you actually just a jerk during high school. Like, you jumped her, you beat him up, that kid was a wimp, but in your mind, he was like some evil villain. Like, it just turns out that he was just mentally not all there. But the characters were enjoyable.
Really?
And, like, funny. And it was kind of woke anyways, because it was like 90s,
Yeah,
whatever.
90s
You
hipster
had
crap.
gay people and lesbians and stuff like that, but it was still a good time. It had lots of video game references and people fighting, and it was unique as well. It wasn't, your DC or your Marvel comic book style. It was more stylized. So yeah. I don't
So,
know.
are you excited? You think it'll be good, or you're?
I've been wanting them to do like an animated series for ages, because I think Adult Swim did one before the movie came out. They did like a little short, which looked really good, but I haven't read the comics in ages since I got unworkified, so I guess I need to watch them again, and then I'll come back and be
you
like...
got unwokified. You got red pilled, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
On another, Netflix animation note, who's excited for season 3 of Masters of the Universe?
Are they making another one?
I hope not, for your sake.
No, they're not. Like, it bombed terribly.
That's
Never stopped them.
Or
And it has. Netflix gives up on so many things after the first
true.
season.
Or did you see that with Cowboy Bebop, they got signatures. They got 100,000 signatures to bring it for season 2. But it's not that many signatures when you think
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
not.
It's not enough.
And, yeah, I wonder, do those petitions have any real effect? There's a petition to get Rafe Judkins fired from Wheel of Time, or get Wheel of Time
It's
cancelled,
not-
or something like that.
No.
Yeah.
Petitions don't do much anymore.
They
'cause-
do literally nothing.
Yeah. But no, I think with Scott Pilgrim,
No,
I'll
in
watch
some
the trailer.
instances they do stuff.
Name one time a petition has done something.
There's like a parliamentary thing, if you can get something over a certain amount of signatures in the UK, that it will be addressed on the parliament floor.
They'll
and stuff.
respond to it.
Yeah, so that's something.
They can literally just say, this came through.
Getting YouTube to react to something, like petitions have helped in that regard.
Yeah, on
Like,
Twitter.
no, but no, when Thane Thran got his channel deleted, we started a petition to get it reinstated, and all the public exposure that generated, and there are videos talking about it, got his channel reinstated pretty quickly.
Well, a petition is just like a big list of votes, and they don't really work anymore, so...
Sad.
Alrighty, next
Next news. Last of Us HBO series is coming. They sent some pictures out of the characters.
I'm on the fence about this.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, Last of Us first game, phenomenal, right? I'm really tempted to play it. Last of Us 2, biggest piece of crap in the world, and I would never play the Last of Us series as a result of what they purposely tried to subvert in it.
Yep.
And so, if there's any plan at all to have the second game be in this series,
No, I think the first season's going to be the first game. I don't know if they're going to touch the second game because of how controversial it is.
You think, though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what they'll do. I just know it'll be woke. Because everything is.
But see, well, then it wouldn't be a true adaptation of the first game, would it? Because how woke was the first one? I don't think it was very woke, from what I remember.
I never played.
From the reviews and stuff I've seen.
I never played.
I've
It was
seen no
very
complaints about it.
Daddy-daughter.
Yeah, exactly. There's this great father figure who, there was some interesting moral questions as well about things that
Oh, he did the right thing. He did the right thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't have to kill everyone, but he did the right thing. Okay. So, yeah, it's got... Wait, who's the guy from The Mandalorian? The guy who's... the Mandalorian?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. He's Joel.
Yeah, I heard. Look, he can act. Like, I really don't like his opinions on nearly anything. Like, he's a complete hypocrite online. Because he will say stuff that everyone celebrates, but then when Gina Carano says something that is nowhere near or equally as offensive, but it's in the other political thing, yeah, she gets fired, right?
Yep.
And so, the thing is, though, I can divorce the art from the artist to an extent, and Pedro seems just the same type of Hollywood sludge talking, spouting on Twitter and stuff. And so if he can give a good performance, I can enjoy something that is in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think they should have got Nikolai Walder-Costa from Game of Thrones. He played Jaime Lannister. Because in the 4th season, when you see him all torn up and
You're
hairy,
right!
he'd be great.
He would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the other girl from Game of Thrones. The girl who's playing Ellie. She's from Game of Thrones. She's in the later seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they should have just got... Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. When he had the beard and everything,
Yeah,
he made
perfect.
a great job. Yeah.
Okay. Witcher Season 2 has finished. I watched it, and I've got one big problem with it.
I want to do a review. All right. So the issues with reviews is time.
I won't review it. It's just one issue that's not a review.
I want to review it. Let us know in the comments what type of review. Because I watched the first 2 episodes of Season 2 of The Witcher, and I enjoyed them both. I enjoyed episode 1 more than episode 2. Mostly enjoyable. I hear it goes downhill after those first few episodes. And I also have no knowledge of the books. And I've also heard that everyone who has read the books is not liking Season 2. And I find this is an interesting contrast from my perspective on the Wheel of Time, from knowing the books. Because when I could objectively see a change that was so much worse than the book material, I got really annoyed because it could have been so much better. There are some of those criticisms that if you didn't know the books, you wouldn't have or be annoyed at, and you could probably accept as fine. But there is so much in the Wheel of Time that's just objectively bad, divorced from the books, without any knowledge. It's just horrible. But there are those same instances where book readers are seeing a change that was so much better than the books, and they're getting really annoyed about it. And I obviously can empathize with that situation, but not knowing it and just going in, I was able to enjoy more from the first 2 episodes. But by the way, just objectively, those first 2 episodes in Witcher are orders of magnitude better than Wheel of Time. And by the way, that's not hard, because the Wheel of Time is like a 1 or a 2, and if this was a 4, that's like an order of magnitude better.
It's like double.
It's double. And so, but the Witcher was so much better than Wheel of Time. Just the episodes I watched, just production value alone, it just. And I think they had the same budget, and it looked so much better. And maybe coming from the Wheel of Time to The Witcher made it more enjoyable, because
Probably.
even though not perfect, it's just so much better. But, by the way, Season 1 of The Witcher was bad. I'm not saying it's good. But so far, Season 2, I've enjoyed those episodes. And I want to watch the rest. Do you want to see just a review of the whole season or episode? We'll see.
The one complaint that I had about it, a major complaint, is they gave 2 of the actresses whiteface. Yeah. Triss and the Elf Queen. Remember the Elf Queen? Did you see her in the 2 episodes?
No.
She's a lady that's leading the elves.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she looks white, isn't she?
Yeah, that's my memory.
She's not.
Her actress,
They gave them very, very pale makeup.
So Triss, right, I remember her being dark-skinned in Season 1, and I've only seen an image of Season 2, and I remember just when I saw that image, like, she's looking a bit bit weird. And it was, she looked more pale than what I remember.
And her hair's a lot more red too.
Because one of the universal feedbacks of season 1 was Triss was horribly cast.
What? I wonder why.
Yeah, and so instead of recasting the actress because maybe they feel too bad that she's on contract or something like that, we'll just try and mutate her face.
Well, imagine, like, whiteface. That's insulting to both sides.
You know, if you want to see another hilarious instance of whiteface, Cloud Atlas, towards the end, the Asian girl, they have there's like she lives alternate lives or whatever, and there's a scene of her living in like an Elizabethan kind of European setting, and so they whiteface the heck out of her to try and make her look European, and it is uncanny valley like you wouldn't believe. It's hilarious.
Wait a minute, Shad. I thought that, you know, Middle Ages Britain was really diverse. Anyway.
So just on that note, right? We're doing it. We'll do it. Talking about the whole blackface stuff.
What about blackface?
I get annoyed because obviously there are many harmless instances of it that aren't blackface, especially when it's done ironically and in comedy. Perfect example, the D&D episode of Community.
Yeah.
Where Chang is dressed up as a drow elf and has got the full black thing on. It's hilarious, and they even point it out in the episode as like something bad and controversial, which was why it was funny.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a dark elf. Like there was nothing.
Yeah, well, they're playing D&D, and the black character, what's her name? Shirley. She's like, are we just gonna? I got an itch in my throat. Hang on.
Shirley is played by Yvette Nicole Brown. She's a very talented actress.
Oh, I love Community. So she's sitting there. She's like, are we just going to ignore that blatant hate crime there? Like, that's her line. And it's like, and then she's like, excuse me, I'm a drow elf or something like that.
That's funny.
And so they even pointed out, it's hilarious. And it's funny because of how oblivious Chang is and all that stuff. They've taken that episode off of Netflix because of how problematic it is. I can't stand it. I hate it.
There's tons of hilarious race jokes in Community. So many.
And man, just watch the first episode. If you haven't watched Community, watch the writing quality is so damn good. There was one scene that I rewatched, like I think 4 or 5 times because the writing was so snappy. It was so good. Where it's like, so Troy is playing football and
That's gay.
Yeah,
that's homophobic. That's black. That's racist. Damn.
That's the exact line. Yeah. And what is he trying to convince him to do?
He's trying to convince him to play football so he doesn't get his picture put into this advertisement thing for the school.
Yeah. And that interplay of the lines.
It's great.
Like,
but it's not even that, man. Like there's so many little things that you miss them. So there's this episode 3, right? There's one where there's a guy who has like a talent agency for people who reenact other famous people, and he's like, oh, all these different people, like it's so diverse. You could play Oprah, pointing at Yvette Nicole Brown, Shirley, and then he points at Troy and what's her name, Britta, and he's like, oh, Michael Jackson before and after. Pure gold.
Like, people say there's nothing we like. It's like, all right, you want another thing that we fully endorse as brilliant? Community.
Yep.
One of the greatest comedies ever written, with some of the cleverest, smartest, funniest, snappy writing you'll ever find.
In the final seasons, it got really woke, but I was fine with it.
See, after Pierce leaves, that's where it starts to drag a bit for me.
I think he left because he said some bad stuff on set.
Did he?
Wasn't a joke. Apparently, he was known for being. He's known his entire career.
Well, he's Chevy Chase. He's got a long history. Never been a fan of his work, but he played a great character in Community. Like, when I say great, I mean entertaining, funny. He was purposely racist as a character, and he was he was a terrible person. Pierce is a terrible person. That's the point of his character.
Well, it was in season 2. In season 1, he was an old guy.
Yeah,
but he wasn't actively.
They did it. Make it more exaggerated as the seasons continued.
Yeah.
But that kind of that episode where he fakes that he's on his deathbed.
Oh, yeah, that was gold. Yeah.
There's so many good episodes here.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, Community, brilliant.
Pierce was always asking the most important questions. Like, there's a part where Chang he lubes himself up and dives through an air vent, and then the first question that Pierce asks is that a new stereotype? No, but it should be.
I think of all the
I'll
shows
say
I've watched, and I think Community has the most memorable ones. Like Office, you get one or two cold opens that are funny. Friends, you've got the like, it was on a break, but Community has some of the best
Those
episodes.
first several seasons, the consistency of the cleverness in the writing and the comedy and how funny it is. And for me, it really, like, I enjoy season 1, but then for me, I really enjoy season 2 and 3, especially like the paintball episodes, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, and when they start to parody other genres, like the Law and Order parody one that they do, it's like the writers are so clever that they have such a distinct understanding of tone and theme that they can parody other styles brilliantly.
Dick Wolf was a producer on that episode.
Who is he?
The guy who makes...
Oh, really?
Law and Order. The most consistently funny character, and probably my favourite, is the Dean. Dean Pelton is my favourite. Oh man, when he sees Jeff Winger with the sunglasses. Or even the conspiracy one. Remember the conspiracy one? You've got to be kidding me! Oh man.
That conspiracy one is one of the best as well. There's so many good ones.
Jim Rash is a treasure.
Oh gosh.
Alright, so... so you might have seen this on the community tab. Not a big thing, just a short one. I started an ARC server with Night's Watch written on it without Chad's permission, but I asked him after and he's okay with it. So come join us on ARC, check the community tab.
Oz is trying to get me to play Ark. Carl Sargon is trying to get me to play Ark. And I need to reply to Carl and show, like, because he's just like, you can make castles in Ark. I was like, I want to show him some of the castles I made in Conan.
Yeah,
I want to get Carl to play Conan.
But you can fly dragon.
That's a gimmick.
It's not a gimmick, it's so much fun. There's lightning ones, fire ones, ice ones, poison ones. There's so many...
I want to, yet I think is I'm so attached to Conan. Conan has so many things. Even like I've already made a whole video on Shadiversity. It does nothing perfectly, but it does enough things well or good enough.
Ark is the same way.
There's so many, but it doesn't have the barbarian aesthetic. I love fantasy, medieval kind of stuff. Swords, man!
There's swords in that. Have you ever built...
But come on, if you want to be alpha, you need to use guns in Ark.
No, there's different gear, there's different tiers of stuff. One of the best weapons is a Ascendant Pike. Anyway, have you ever built a flying castle before that you can fly around and park wherever you want?
Not in Conan, no.
Yeah, exactly. So do it in this game.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up doing a stream on Ark or not. We'll see.
Okay, so Pokimane got banned from Twitch for streaming Avatar.
Finally! Friggin' Pokimane and what's that other idiot? Hazan?
No, his name's Chenk's nephew.
Chenk's nephew. That guy is so talentless, right? And he's such an astounding moron. Like, but because he supports the right side, but is not a good representative of that side, he makes them look so bad. But he's just so talented. He just watches other people's content. Like, EFAP did this whole thing because one of the members of EFAP is JXE, or regular guest, I should say. It's funny, he's a regular guest, a member. I don't know. They don't have. Oh, sorry, yep. And Hassan was watching videos, right? Basically just. And he even gets up and leaves while the video's playing. And so the EFAP guys, they just reviewing Hazan's video and how pointless and bad, like, they ripped into him and he got,
I liked watching Sargon review him because he's like, look at how he's using his old British accent, you know, like Sargon will be like, look at him eating his lunch. He just goes right up to the camera and gorges himself in front of thousands of people. That's awful Sargon accent, but oh man, I love that guy. Anyway, not in a gay way. He's my hero. He's literally my political hero. I love Sargon. So Pokemon banned for streaming Avatar.
Well, yeah, about time. Like,
I don't really know her, so I'm not going to pass judgment, but...
Yeah, I only know her from the news things. I do not see much there in terms of her content or personality. This is just my take. I have trouble finding how people would enjoy, but we know why people enjoy.
Yeah, because it's a girl on the internet.
It's all the whole simp culture and stuff.
I think I saw one thing of her where she's at like a fan meetup, and she's like standing up and awkwardly, very quickly, like hugging people but not looking at them because her fans are...
If you make eye contact, or you got to stalk her for the rest of your life now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why you put yourself in that situation with all, like, if that's your fan base.
Oh, she makes a lot of money. You gotta, like... I'm not sure. I was going to say you got to respect the grift, but I don't think I can respect that grift. That's
Shouldn't respect any grift.
To me, it's exploitative, and it's... not good. And like, I appreciate genuine talent at something. You know, play a video game really well, have good, interesting commentary, be engaging and stuff. And granted, like, there are some thoughts out there who actually are far better in the rhetoric department and stuff and things. But, and look, I don't know Pokimane personally. I don't know if she's a good person or bad person or everything. I think she tries to put on the innocent, good girl persona. It comes off as an act. She could be a really nice person. I don't know. But I still find a lot of her, you know, content predatory in terms of these impressionable guys that are just trying to... Didn't she lose a whole heap of people when it turned out she had a boyfriend? Would have, like, of course she does.
Yeah, that happens a lot, though. That happens a lot in Hollywood. Anything like that.
In Hollywood?
Well, anything where it's like you're a star, that
In
happens.
entertainment.
Like, it happens with, what do you call it, Korean pop groups, doesn't it? K-pop groups.
Oh, as soon as they get
They have to hide the fact they have boyfriends. They did it back in the day with Hollywood,
Yeah.
you know? So, it's just a thing. Yeah.
And so I wonder how long it'll last. She's one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. But anyway... And so, what is she doing? What value is she adding apart from company or something that people are finding this, you know, parasocial relationship with? But she's now been just sitting down watching other people's content, which is like a lot of streamers do anyway. And finally, she got pinged on something because she was watching Avatar: Last Airbender. That's such lazy content.
Yeah. I don't get it either.
Yeah, there's a good metric if you're making good content or not, and it's content that people want to watch. And you know you're making good content if your content is so good that people are making content of you watching your own content. That means you're making good content, and you're too lazy to make good content, and so you're trying to leech off other people. Oh, and I'm not against necessarily reaction ones. If you've got an interesting, engaging personality and you're actually reacting, or... That's the lowest tier, but at least you're doing something. I think it's much better if you're adding interesting commentary to what you're, you know, reacting to and viewing. That's when it actually has some good value to it.
I think people just want the emotional connection of like, I see this person, they're watching Arcane episode 3.
I get to watch it with them, kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's like a watch party.
Yeah, you share their emotions, you vampire.
Now, it's funny, one of the ones that I actually have been able to enjoy is the EFAP movie reactions.
Yeah, because they're commenting the whole time.
Well, yeah, I've done heaps with them. They're not out yet. They will be out, and they're going to be hilarious. Because we were laughing our heads off on so many, and it's the basically it's like the warfare battle movie things. And so me, Critical Drinker, Carl Benjamin, and then of course regular EFAP guys as well. Metal usually joins us. We were just watching all these, you know, warfare movies and stuff, and they're like some were legitimately good that we've enjoyed, like Mask of Zorro, and then some we do enjoy, but we also get so much of a rise out of it and reacting to stuff like Troy. Troy was hilarious.
I love Troy.
Yeah, we did Troy. Troy's a great movie, but there's some funnies. We had this whole debate, but we had this whole ongoing discussion on the simping by Orlando Bloom to Helen of Troy, and
he was slaying it, dude. What's simping?
Well, you just go watch, right?
I've watched it recently.
Wait until it comes out. But we're laughing our heads off. It's so much fun, and so that is actually a good example. And the one that I recommend is the Mulan. I watched the whole Mulan one reaction all the way through, and I was laughing along with them.
My favourite one was the Lord of the Rings one they did.
Because
they talk about the real meaning of Lord of the Rings. It's all about weed. No, me and my mates on Discord, we're actually starting a channel to do that sort of stuff.
Oh, good.
So if you're interested in that, I'll tell you when it's ready.
Well, get it ready.
Yeah.
Come
on. Okay, so next bit of news. Anything else to say about the streamers getting banned?
Good. About time. They should, Twitch should have cracked down on this bullcrap ages ago. And it seems like it's only because whoever owns Avatar has the clout to do it, because they do it to other content creators all the time, like JXC. Right? Azan basically just played his content, and
he just can't be bothered editing.
Azan,
because he doesn't pay his editors, so he wouldn't make money if he edited that himself.
Yeah.
All right. Transformers. This is Nathan's one. Transformers cancels E3 2022.
Yeah.
What happened there?
All the different the new Transformers that we're having around town and stuff.
No.
The new Transformers? The Decepticons?
Oh, why didn't you say so? Yes, there's a new variant of Decepticon.
Yeah, and they've come out and said that they're cancelling E3 because it'd be too dangerous with all those new Decepticons around.
Pesky Decepticons.
So it's going to be online only again. But last year, like Sony and
But
stuff.
hasn't E3 just been going downhill lately?
Yep, everything is.
Last year, they like Sony and stuff. They just bounced out of E3. They didn't even do anything
Yeah.
that year. They did it later. So.
I mean, why bother? Just have your own thing for a big
It seems so
company.
corporate.
It is.
I like that, hey, new trailers of interesting games, but
That's how it was originally. It was just for the.
this, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead, Shaq.
Not that it
Cut
doesn't
me
happen
off.
a lot. It feels like a platform to bullcrap people.
Yeah.
Like, ever since Fallout 76, it's like his whole display... was that at E3?
It was happening
16
before
times
then.
The detail.
Even Fallout 4 was like that, though.
Yeah, Fallout 4,
They're like,
yeah.
it just works.
It just works.
No, but yeah, because E3 originally was just meant for the industry. It was like, okay, this is what I'm making. Like, it would be for Xbox making new consoles, so the devs would come and play the new console and be like, okay, I want to make a game for you. And then open it to press, and then obviously they've opened it more now to just the wider community.
Yep.
But now it's just kind of fallen short. All I think of now is like Ubisoft Just Dance trailers with really cringy developers being like, oh, I made this game, alright, dance party, come on out.
And then you have the interviews of the clearly... are they bought, but they get access to, the YouTubers getting access to have softball interviews with developers.
Yeah. So E3, I think... look, it would have been great for those press people. Like, it's like going on a trip each year.
Yeah, but-
That's how it felt for them. But
I need to know if there's a new Call of Duty coming out.
Do you...
when it's
No.
set...
But wouldn't a trailer just dropped on YouTube do the job for you?
Well, yeah.
That's what they do now, though, I think. Last year they did that. They just dropped the trailer.
Yeah, have you seen there's a new one called Renegade, or what was it called?
Vanguard.
Vanguard. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? You didn't even hear about it, did you?
Well, Call of Duty is like I know there's a lot of people love it. To me, it's just like this samey sludge. Like, is there a new Call of Duty? Well, like, to me, it looks the same as the other Call of Duty. I don't get it. It's like...
Yeah. Anyway, can't wait for a new Spider-Man movie. Ooh. It's the same thing. They're basically all the same thing.
Well, people know our views on the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But like one of the few people on the internet that actually have that view.
So, yeah, Transformers cancels something in 2020s. Who would have thought?
2022 starting out strong.
It is.
Yeah, but
Goes back to your point. Is things really going to change?
yeah, nothing's going to change. The more things change, the more they stay the same. It's just more of the same.
Well, it's weird, right? In terms of just the world changes so fast in reality. Like, how many years ago the internet wasn't a thing? It's crazy the rate of change that's happening in society.
Our lifestyles and technology change, but the people don't. People don't actually change, I don't think.
We tend to start to fall into the same mistakes again and again. If only we could bloody learn from the past and realise that communism is awful.
I think we're all the same.
Oh, if only.
If only, right?
I think there's only like 15, 16 different personalities, and we're all just small variations on that. That's my opinion.
Well, it's interesting. Like, just there's a really interesting personality test that I took.
MBTI.
Yeah, I took it. Right, it's a pretty lengthy one, and then it gives you your personality profile, and then you get to read what this profile.
Exactly
and it was shockingly accurate.
Yeah. You got INTJ?
Yeah, the one that was they're most often get writers, creative people. Or something. Yeah.
All my three mates have been my best mates. Petrus, Antonio, you. They've all been that. And the best match for that, for INTJ, is ENTP. I'm an ENTP.
Yeah, like it's remarkably accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did 2 tests and got different results both times.
Well, that's
so-
because you've been unwokeified.
No, but that was like, I did it in the... This is before I even met you. I didn't even know you existed.
Maybe we should take new tests. I
Yeah.
wonder if I'm like a completely different profile now.
Because I was looking at some of my stuff from like a few years ago the other day. I took a box out to clean stuff out, and I was like, man, I have changed for the better. Oh, some of those letters I wrote. Oh,
Letters to who?
oh, to home.
Oh.
I was like, oh, mission changes people.
For the better.
We should do a bunch of tests. We should do MBTI, political compass.
Oh, and we can
Yeah.
make videos
Yeah.
out of it, eh?
Me and Nathan did one the other day. Guess what I got?
Political.
Yeah.
I reckon you were more centrist than you realise.
I was moderate right. So
Yeah.
between centre and between far,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
perfectly in the centre. Nathan, what were you little commie?
I forgot. Did I
You
take
were,
a picture
you
of it?
were you were libertarian left.
Yeah. I was more left than I
Basically
thought I would
centre
be.
though. Almost.
But this is the thing. Anything left of Karl Marx these days is extreme alt-right.
Yep.
Like, it's insane. The Overton window's shifting so much, and oh my
It's
goodness.
a horseshoe, man.
Like, I think people would be probably surprised how centrist I am, and I even support certain social welfare policies and stuff, and so I might even edge on the left side of things a little bit. I don't know, but I'm very conservative when it comes to like taxation.
Well, there goes your social
stuff.
system.
Well, no, I think social welfare things can be supported through capitalistic forms of free market.
I agree. It doesn't need to be a government institution.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
charities exist.
Well, see, I think it could be government, but you could get the revenue to support them through lower taxation and more free market. But
I think charity would be better, but whatever.
Yeah, charity. Charities.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Cool video to do. All of us do some sort of test.
Let us know what you think.
Write down some different tests for stuff that we could do. That would, categorize us more.
Oz is very used to tests and is good at them.
He knows which answers to pick to get the right results.
He's been tested heaps, so...
If I'd known the purpose of those tests, I would have definitely gone down to a retard so I could get those pills sooner. Because those meth pills, whoo! I did not sleep last night and I'm fine.
They're prescribed.
They're prescribed. They're prescribed.
If you know anything about ADD, ADHD and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not kidding. I got no sleep and I'm fine. I'm fine.
That is a concern though. We'll monitor that.
Yeah. All right. You're not my doctor. You can't monitor me. All right. New Dying Light 2 game coming soon, and it looks awesome. Looks like
it's a zombie game, isn't it?
Yeah,
zombie game.
Hardcore zombie game.
But it actually looks. I didn't like the first one. I didn't like how it looked, but this one looks awesome. It's like Dishonored with zombies, and massive RPG system. So that's good. Everyone likes RPGs, right?
Hey, give us more good games.
Yeah.
I want games. I want good games, not this crap games, but good games.
I want good RPGs. You know?
So I have to admit, Elden Ring has caught my eye.
Yep.
We might have to do some streaming of Elden Ring.
What's it coming out on? Is it like everything?
Well, so a couple of games on my radar. I don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah.
Is it February 12th?
Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, it's been pre-released, and it's like, when is the official release? Because they only have like the first act, and so it's just been staring at me. And I know I could play it, but it'll be only the first act. It doesn't have all the content. I can't multiclass and everything, and I don't want to play it and get to play it to death before the full game release and get the full experience.
Yeah.
And so it's just staring at me. Like, come on, give me the fucking game!
Shad, don't just stare at it, eat it. Only people who've seen American Psycho will understand that reference.
I need to watch that, I'm thinking.
Let me blur it for you before you do.
I'm not a delicate flower.
Well, okay, but you had me blow the first episode of Game of Thrones for you. You specifically asked.
When did I ask?
Well, I don't think you asked, but I offered and you said yes. And I
Yeah,
did.
but Game of Thrones is so porn.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, okay, wait, I lost the thing. Here it is. Okay, last bit of news. Kevin Levine game still not finished. Who's Kevin Levine? What is this game?
Okay, this guy, he's like the Peter Molyneux, which there's these like personalities in the games industry.
Who's
right?
Peter Molyneux?
And they
Yeah,
will.
I was saying, who's Peter Molyneux?
Okay, I'll get into the point.
Yeah, it's like the Jeff Rivado. Who's that? Just give us a name we know.
He's like the Kojima.
Okay, I've heard of Kojima, but
Yep.
isn't Kojima well respected for making good games?
He is.
Weird games.
But
I mean,
he's one of those.
He's the walking simulator. Like
Yeah. But he's one of those developers that you say the name and people will actually know who they are and what their work are. Unlike most of the other industry where they're just like grunts.
Yeah, all those nobodies.
But Kevin Levine and Peter Molyneux are people who are sucky to work for, who will just balloon ideas and have no scope. And so Levine, he worked on the BioShock games. He also did System Shock and the first Thief game. So he's very good at those games. But he's always had restrictions with publishers and whatever. Like they'll say, okay, you got to finish the game. Like BioShock Infinite, I think took like 8 years or something to make, and they made like 4 different games during that time.
I was about to say, if you're an ideas man and you're like a creative ideas man and a good one, you need a money man to guide you.
Yeah.
You can't just be one thing because you go all over the place.
So that's what he had previously, but now they started working on a game in 2014, 2015, was meant to come out 2017, and they still haven't announced what they're working on. And all of his other co-creators, like Origin people, they've all left. And they're like,
that's not good.
they're sick of him because they'll work on something and then he'll be like, change it like a month later, and then doing that since.
Yeah, I wonder what that feels like.
Well, it's not that bad here,
It's
though.
not that bad here.
No,
no,
and it's like a thumbnail.
It's not the thumbnails. It'll be like get rid of this part, get rid of that part.
It's cutting stuff out. It's not ditching the whole video and then filming
and
again.
you have to suck it up and deal with it.
I know, but, you know me, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm the 70% rule, just...
I'm a perfectionist, but I'm also, I don't know, an elitist. Like, I want things done my way. And that's just...
You can't really be an elitist about your business.
Yeah, it's your preference.
You can be pedantic, but again, it's your business.
I am pedantic. I'm very pedantic. Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear about that? Just a bit of a closing clip for devs. Did you hear about Vampire the Masquerade 2 or 3 or something?
I heard that they cleaned house and fired all the woke crowd.
Every single person they got rid of.
Smart move.
Gold. Just let's do more of that.
Yeah.
I wonder how they fired them. They're like, hey guys, free helicopter trip.
But see, there's signs of co-opting. I hear the next Saints Row is just going to be a dumpster fire.
Have you seen it?
No, I've seen the headlines that basically they've wokeified the hell out of Saints Row.
Yeah. No,
are you kidding?
The trailer, I saw. I'm like, this is going to be the worst game I've ever seen. It looks like woke GTA, but more woke than you can possibly imagine.
That's unbelievable. Saints Row was supposed to be
edgy,
an edgy, campy
GTA.
Comedy GTA.
Yeah. But now it's sad and depressing and woke. It is more woke than you can imagine. It's woke Fortnite meets GTA.
It's
literally, the people in it look like Fortnite characters. But it's all woke, all the representations there and... okay, so it starts with, there's the gang of the Saints Rows. They're all ethnically and sexually diverse, by the way. And they're stalking a gang of bikers, and they're going to steal something from bikers. Guess what race the bikers are?
Yeah, I was going to get
all bald white dudes.
Gee, surprise.
Lets you know who the enemy is, eh?
So, I hope that game crashes and burns. You can see that their intention isn't to make a good game. They want you to learn something from it.
Yep.
So just while we're on the notion of waiting for game release and other things like that, Star Citizen.
Dude, we will be in space before that game's finished.
It looks so good, but where is it?
You can play it.
Well,
did you know
can you play it?
They reached another milestone with fundraising.
How much?
Good
Again,
on,
they raised another $100,000.
I'm confused, right? People are now getting to the point where they're calling it a scam. Yet at the same time, they're still developing the game, clearly.
Yeah,
but
it keeps changing every 5 years.
They're selling their ships for hundreds of dollars.
I know, it's...
Some of them thousands.
The ships look so damn good.
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted, right? Because it's a legitimate product. It is a digital product, but it's a legitimate product. It's really good quality, yet you can't do much with it. But it's really good quality. You can't do much.
The learning curve is insane as well.
Yeah, and look, it's good quality, but it's not very well optimized.
Yeah.
It's very poorly made.
If you want to build cool spaceships, get Starship Evo. It's an awesome space building game.
Just play really cool. Play Evo online or something.
Well, Eve has the most insane learning curve.
Yeah,
Eve.
At least it's finished. Star Citizen. I think it was 2011, 2012. Someone's like, Nathan, spend $40 on this, and I did, and I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting.
See, I want to get it, but I have not spent a dime on it. It's
Good.
Give me the release. I'll But this is the thing. That's why I guess I'm not as salty as other people. Some people have spent lots of money on this thing, and it's gotten nowhere, right?
Something costs.
Oh, gosh. And, I think that's an aspect. But also other people are getting really angry about it. The thing is, if they can deliver a really good quality product, because I haven't invested anything in it, I'm not too concerned about how long it takes. As long as it comes. And if it doesn't come, I don't lose anything out of it either. But there's a lot there so far, but you don't know what's going to be delivered.
Too many chefs in the kitchen. They've tried to do too many things. You can't do everything. You can't.
Well, yeah, because the main guy it was the first project was going to make a giant space game everyone can play in and do whatever, but then they're like, it's a bit hard to do that with all these, detailed features. So it's like, all right, let's split the combat to the space exploration, and then you split that off to the flight thing, and so you got 3 different projects happening at once, and then they switched engines 3 times.
How I heard about that.
Yeah,
because they switched one and there was a legal trouble with it.
Yeah, because they had CryEngine and they went to Lumberyard, which is CryEngine but for Amazon, and they've changed it now to I think the open
It's bizarre. And it's not a tale of a failure yet because they're still getting funding and levels.
Yeah.
It's just retired dads sitting in armchairs going, I want my space game. And they got their pension and it's going to keep buying the spaceships.
If there's any game that makes me want to embrace and just dive into VR, it's this. I want to feel like I'm sitting on the spaceship. And this is like, I usually hate first person. I'm like always third person, but this one, I want to feel immersed. Like I'm on a spaceship. And this is looking like it could really do it, but, you know...
It's just the scope.
We would stream that. I would get like VR for all of us, but that would be a weird stream. It's like how people would see our VR heads. Like I don't know.
It can work. There's YouTubers do it.
Yeah.
But they got Luke Skywalker and Gary Oldman and
to do like a little story segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the single player mission.
Yeah.
If they can deliver on what they've been, can they? Like, they've promised a lot, right? But if they could, it would be flippin' awesome.
Well, what have they promised versus what have they delivered so far? You know,
None of it.
they've got cool spaceships.
Really cool.
You know what though? With
Some of
those
the
spaceships,
best.
Yeah.
the community makes that. They don't make it half the time.
What?
They do competitions, and then they'll like go through different designs, and they'll do like a round robin of like the best spaceship, and then they'll
Do the people get a percentage if their spaceship wins?
maybe,
They better.
but like a lot of it's community driven now as well.
They do that with Rust. Games like Rust.
I didn't know that. I thought that,
Yeah.
because some of these spaceships look insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Amazing.
guys who just have no time, and they're like,
Like,
you know what? Let's make a spaceship.
I've just watched whole videos that are just reviewing a single spaceship and giving me a tour, and it's awesome.
There's
like,
that guy, the architect guy, who
I-
does all the
I don't know.
spaceships.
Oh, it's just...
So
well, I'm still getting content of some type. I get to look at cool spaceships. I don't
it
know.
depends what you want the
Yeah.
game and the meta to
But-
be. If you just want to be looking at spaceships and
Well, this thing, I need the content. This is one of my big gripes against Soul Calibur 6, whatever they're up to now. It's one of the best character creators ever. I've literally spent hours just doing character creator Soul Calibur. It's so, like, yeah, so I've made, myself with the Brigandine and all that stuff. I'm even going to be doing a video on Shadowversity just looking at weapons in Soul Calibur. I'm a sucker for punishment, because I think it's a poor quality game, but I also heard that they didn't get much budget, and so that what they produced out of the support they got from their own developing team, is actually, so maybe there's a more complex story behind that. But after I make this cool character, the gameplay is so thin and boring. Like, you fight a couple of times and you're done. There's no good story, single player, and so you can't do anything with it. That's what happened to me in in Star Citizen. I would love the ship, but if I can't do anything interesting with it, it's no point.
How's Conan treating you?
Conan keeps sucking me back. You can
Yeah.
always keep doing fun stuff in Conan. Like, I made a huge base. I've got this huge castle on the server that I want people... I want to do a live stream raid of it, and so it's this big castle for raiding.
Let's make a deal. I will come and raid your castle with my mates if I can get them on. Hopefully I can. If the next week we play Ark.
All right, I might be willing to do that.
All right, sweet.
We'll see.
'Cause
compromise.
I think you'll like Ark.
But then recently I built like the base is too big. I don't like overly big bases because they're hard to manage and get around to where you need them.
Hard
So
to build,
I
too.
like, and yeah, lots of resources. But my wife has been getting on. And she's like a resource gathering machine. I've got more resources than I need. So much so that I just built another base for the fun of it. It's a single castle, keep, tower. It's more manageable for my single one character. But I have made it. I've got so many thralls, and so I just loaded up the thrall defenders there. And I want you to try and fight that one too. But that one's like my own little one. And then it's like, now I got all these new crafting benches. I've been collecting like crafting thralls to equip them. There's always stuff to do.
All right, guys. This Friday, jump onto the Conan server with us. We'll raid Shad. All of us. Every single one of us.
So this is funny, right? People on the Conan server has already like seen the base, and I've posted some images of this castle on the unofficial Discord server for the Conan game, and that got a couple of the players like, "Where is it? They want to try it out." And so it's made to be deceptive. Like, I've made it so you can get in, but you can't get out.
Oh, one of those, eh?
And so it ended up trapping like 5-6 guys, right? And I was online for part of it because this happened over the Christmas break and I wasn't online regularly. And so they were first trying to avoid the thralls, and then I like logged off because, I'm on holiday, and that makes the thralls not attack. And so several people got trapped in, but they're not getting attacked by the thralls, but they couldn't get out. But then I just re-logged on just to see, and suddenly all these people that were trapped in the behind the wall, they just get swarmed by the thralls and they get slaughtered. And I come back and there's like 8 dead bodies just around the thing. It was funny. So you can go check out the castle too. Jump in. I've left the front door open of the keep. Try and get in the keep just for fun. See if you can do it.
Well, and also, you know, like I got the Arc server. It's got 100 slots. It's set up so it's not a massive grind. Like, we started taming a bunch of tech rexes. We have hundreds of them. Back last wipe, we wiped it since.
Yeah, and so after this kind of raid, I'm thinking of doing a wipe on the Conan, and I want to start again. And I'd like to start from square one on Conan.
Yeah, but we raid and then we play Arc, and will like Arc, and then we'll keep doing Arc.
But see, I'll come back because I want to do a wipe and change some of the settings on my server at the moment. Because I think the waypoints have made things too easy. I like the challenge of not having waypoints. I want to get rid of the waypoints. I want to make it harder to level up because I enjoy the grind and being stuck in lower tier things, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the whole loop of Conan starting at 0, building up an empire.
Yeah, you enjoy the whole spectrum of it.
Yeah,
because you're on the spectrum. Kidding. There's a popcorn in the kettle.
I was gonna say that.
See, I don't play Conan, but you two do.
Yeah, you have a wife.
So do I.
So does Shad.
But my wife plays with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I'm
yeah,
a
I
lucky
guess.
man.
I guess. Where's my wife?
Somewhere out there, Oz. Somewhere.
Yeah, over the rainbow.
Somewhere out there.
Beneath the pale moon sky.
Beneath the...
That's from Community.
Yes,
Hey! Oh wait.
Ah.
Oh, that. Something's awakened in me. I'm gonna watch Community.
All right, I think that's enough for this episode of Nightly News. This was a fun one. Just welcome back. We're back, and
Thanks for watching.
stick around. So, as always, stay watchful.